right, in this lesson, we're going to talk about Bossa Nova. And I feel like this is a super important style for you to work on and have in your arsenal. Because if you want to play gigs or you want to work with real musicians in the real world, this style is going to come up. Even if this style doesn't come up, this is a super fun way to work on your independence and your coordination. This is a challenge to get all these limbs playing these different rhythms. So I highly recommend you spending some time on this style and playing along to the playlist that I've created. This will help your independence and your coordination, and it will prepare you for when you start to play some gigs. I don't claim to be an expert in this style at all, but I've had to learn how to play this because Bossa Novas get called on gigs. So I spent some time learning this. There are tons of great Bossa Nova experts and masters out there, and I highly recommend that you check some of them out. I'll put some of them in my description under this video, but this is just to get you introduced, and this is supposed to be an introduction and a Bossa Nova for beginners. Right now I'm going to demonstrate the standard straightforward Bossa Nova, and this has a rhythm that is very similar to a 3/2 clave, but there's one note different. And right now I'm going to play this for you in its full form. So you can play this on the ride cymbal as well, and when you do, you want to play upbeats on the hi-hat. So you want to make sure that you keep a nice light sound, and you want to play with the tip of your stick on an area that is not the edge of the cymbal, because that gets too washy, and not too close to the bell because that'll get too pingy. So you want somewhere in the middle of the cymbal with a nice light touch, playing these 16th notes up here on the ride. So once you have that first basic rhythm together, you can reverse the clave and play what would be a modified 2/3 clave. Some people call it the Brazilian clave. It's also the same rhythm that underlies a lot of New Orleans traditional second line. And then, of course, we can play that on the ride with upbeats on the hi-hat. Bossa Nova is a very light and airy style and sound, and is often played with shaker or some kind of instrument that approximates a shaker. And so the way to do that on the drum set that can sound really nice and light, and you really kind of sound like you know what you're doing when you do this, is play with a brush in the right hand and play your 16th notes that way. And this gets a really nice light shaker kind of sound. And then I'm going to play our first example this way with a brush in my right hand. As far as the feet go, I recommend playing this heel down. So this way you can control the volume. And it's going to take a little bit of while to develop this. You have to develop your shin muscle. And if you shed this with the heel down, I feel like this will also work on your dexterity and your control when you play heel up as well. So to develop this, you may want to play the hand first, and then add the foot, and then add the upbeat hi-hats, and then I'm going to add our first cross stick rhythm. You may have to practice this slower and practice this with a metronome at a very slow tempo. And then once you get it worked up to about 60 beats per minute, then you can start playing this to some of the tunes in the playlist. I've included a link in the description, so I highly recommend practicing to that. You could even start practicing right hand, right foot, and then add the hi-hat, and then start trying to pepper in some of those cross stick rhythms. I hope you've dug this lesson on beginner bossa nova, so please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I'm coming out with new lessons. Of course, if you want to take a deeper dive into some of my educational teachings, you can check out StantonMooreDrumAcademy.com. I have a 14-day free trial up there, and you can check that out as well. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see y'all down the line.